Student, in first session from your textbook chapter number 3 atoms and molecules. This chapter is related to chemistry and sugar, salt, sand, diamond, graphite, copper, silver, gold, iron, aluminium, wood, rocks, minerals, food and fabric are all kinds of matter. So these are what? Matter. Matter is called padharth in Hindi. An Indian philosopher said that if we go on dividing matter, we will get a smaller and smaller particle of matter. Okay, means जब आप उसको matter को divide करने जाओगे, then we will get the smaller and smaller particle of matter. So ultimately we will get the smallest particle of matter which cannot be divided any further based on this philosophy. Kanan was one of the first person to propose that matter is made up of very small particles called that परमाणु. Clear this one? So जो महर्षि कानंद है वो that is the first person to propose that matter is made up of very small particles that is called परमाणु. Clear this one? John Dalton called these particles by the name of atom. और John Dalton ने इसका नेम क्या दिया? Atoms दिया. Clear this one? The word atom means indivisible. Further divide नहीं हो सकता. Something which cannot be divided further. Another Indian philosopher कहते हैं went a step further and proposed that the particles of matter normally exist in a combined form and various combination of particles give us various kinds of matter. So this combined means वो free state में भी रहते and that combined. So this combined form of the atoms is now called that molecules. So we now know that all matter is made up of small particles called that atoms and molecules. Okay, जितने भी matter है, matter क्या होता है? You know very well that anything that has weight and occupies space, that is called matter. So जो भी matter है, that is made up of small particles, that is called atoms and molecules. And different kinds of atoms and molecules have different properties. Means जब atom और molecule different होंगे किसी matter में तो उनकी properties भी different होती है. Due to which different kinds of matter also show different properties. और इसीलिए सभी जो matter है वो एक जैसे नहीं होते. They also show the different property because what is the reason behind? Because there is a different kinds of atoms and molecules have different properties. Clear this one? So thus the properties of matters depend on the properties of atoms and molecules from which it is made. For laws of chemical combinations. Okay. There are two important laws of chemical combinations. These are first, law of conservation of mass. Second, law of constant proportions. Clear this one? First, law of conservation of mass. In the 18th century, scientists noticed that if they carried out a chemical reaction in a closed container, then there was no change of mass. Okay, उसमें कुछ भी change नहीं होता. This preservation of mass in a chemical reaction led to the formulation of the law of conservation of mass. So, law of conservation of mass given by the Anthony Lavoisier in 1774. According to the law of conservation, matter is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Means in chemical reaction, जब chemical reaction होती है तो ना तो आप matter को create कर सकते हो ना ही उसको destroy कर सकते हो. Clear this one? So the substances which combine together or react in a chemical reaction are known as reactant, whereas the new substance formed or produced as a result of chemical reaction are called the products. So the law of conservation of mass means that in a chemical reaction, the total mass of products is equal to the total mass of reactant. Okay, there is no change in mass during a chemical reaction. Clear this one? Since there is a no gain or loss in mass in a chemical reactions, mass remains conserved. तो जब means ना तो gain हो रहा है ना ही loss हो रहा है तो मास जो रहता है वो कैसा रहता है? कंजर्व रहता है. क्लियर दिस वन? फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे x एंड y ये दो रिएक्टेंट है. x जो है वो 5 ग्राम आपने लिया है और जो y लिया है वो 7 ग्राम लिया है. ओके, सो दोनों कितना हो गया? 5 और 7 12 ग्राम. सो रिएक्टेंट में कितना है? x जो है वो आपने 5 ग्राम लिया है और जो y है वो 7 ग्राम लिया है. means that x and y react together and form the product that xy. so xy में तो x का जो मास है वो 5 ग्राम ही रहेगा और y का जो मास है वो 7 ग्राम ही रहेगा. तो ये क्या हो गया? 12 ग्राम. और यहाँ पे भी कितना है? 12 ग्राम. तो रिएक्टेंट एंड प्रोडक्ट. ओके, सो सिंस द टोटल मास ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इज 12 is equal to the total mass of the reactant, 12 gram, there is no change of mass during the chemical reaction, so the mass remains the same or conserved. So this example supports the law of conservation of mass. Clear this one? When hydrogen and oxygen means ये दोनों जो atom okay वो react together and form the water, or okay this 2 is indicating the molecule and this 2 indicating the atoms. Okay, so 2 molecules of water form होते. So that detail study में कैसे mass obtain किया है that you will study further. आपको यहाँ पे simply समझना है कि हाइड्रोजन और वाटर मीन्स हाइड्रोजन कितना है 2 2 4, तो यहाँ पे 4 राइट कर दिया. ऑक्सीजन कितने 2 है, और ऑक्सीजन का जो एटॉमिक मास है वो 16, एक का 16 रहता है तो 2 का मीन्स कितना हो गया 32, और 32 और 4 कितना हो गया 36 हो गया. सेम वैसे ही 2 2 4 हो गया यहाँ पे. ओके, और ऑक्सीजन, अब ऑक्सीजन कितने 2 है तो यहाँ पे 2 राइट कर दिया. एंड मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इज 16, सो राइट हियर 16, और 16 2 32, 32 प्लस 4 36 मीन्स यहाँ पे टोटल कैसा है same mass. Okay, so since the total mass of product 36 gram in the chemical reaction is equal to the total mass of reactant 36 gram, therefore the given data verifies the law of conservation of mass. Clear this one? How we have to obtain the molecular mass we will study further. Clear this one? Next one, law of constant proportion. The law of constant proportion was given by the Joseph in 1779. He analyzed the chemical compositions, type of elements present and percentage of element present, okay, of a large number of compounds, and came to conclusion, okay, that the proportion of each element means each element, okay, जैसे आपने यहाँ पे water दी, जैसे आपने water लिया तो यहाँ पे कितने elements है 2 element है, हाइड्रोजन and oxygen. Okay, so that proportion of each element in a compound is constant or fixed, means fixed रहता है. Based on this observation, Joseph formulated the law of constant proportion. According to the law of constant proportion, a chemical compound always consists of the same element combined together in the same proportion by mass. Means वो जब भी means आप इसे compound form करोगे तो एक fixed proportion रहता है उसका. Okay. This law means that whatever be the source from which it is obtained, means कुछ भी source हो, or the method by which it is prepared, means जो भी method हो, a pure chemical compound is always made up of the same element in the same mass percentage. means जब भी बनेगा तो उसमें element भी same होंगे और mass percentage भी same होगा. Okay, there is no problem whatever be the source from which it is obtained. So for example, water is a compound, so which always consists of the same 2 elements, hydrogen and oxygen. में जब भी water बनेगा उसमें 2 elements same रहेंगे, hydrogen और oxygen, क्योंकि water बनता ही hydrogen और oxygen से. Combined together in the same constant proportion means 1:8 by mass. So 1 part by mass of hydrogen and 8 parts by mass of oxygen. Clear this one? Another example to illustrate the law of constant proportion. Ammonia is a compound. Okay. It has been found by the analysis that ammonia always consists of the same 2 elements, nitrogen and hydrogen, combined together in the same ratio of that 14:3 by mass. Means जो N का जो atomic mass है वो 14 है और हाइड्रोजन का 1 रहता है, तो हाइड्रोजन इसमें कितने है 3 है, तो इसमें यहाँ पे 3 लिया. मीन्स जब भी मीन्स अमोनिया फॉर्म होगा तो 1 नाइट्रोजन और दैट 3 हाइड्रोजन, मीन्स दैट 14:3 by mass. Clear this one? Remember that law of constant proportion is also known as the law of definite proportion or the law of constant composition, क्योंकि इसमें जो composition रहता है वो fixed रहता है, definite रहता है, means that 14:3 by mass, that is ammonia. Clear this one? Now about the atoms, just as all the houses are made up of bricks, in the same way all the matter is made up of atoms. Okay, so thus atoms are the building block of all the matter around us. In chemistry, atom is defined, an atom is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction. Okay, so atom क्या है? इस atom जो smallest particle होता है element का, that can take part in a chemical reaction. So atoms of most of the element are very reactive and do not exist in the free state or as single atom. They exist in combination with the atoms of the same element or another element. There are many kinds of atoms as are elements. So atoms are very small in size, means ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा small size. The size of atom is indicated by its radius, which is called the atomic radius. The size of an atom is measured in unit nanometer. Okay, so nanometer means 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to power minus 9 meter. Okay, so hydrogen atom is the smallest atom of all, means hydrogen atom है वो smallest रहता है, सभी atom में सबसे smallest क्या है, hydrogen atom में. Clear this one? Now, symbol of elements. Symbol is a thing like a sketch or letter, etc. So, which represent or stands for something else. When we say the symbols of element, it means the symbols of the atoms of the elements, because elements are made up of atom. So, elements means that symbols of that atom. Okay. Modern symbols of element was proposed by J.J. Berzelius. Okay, means symbols of elements given by the J.J. Berzelius. Clear this one? So, modern symbols of elements, that in order to write the chemical reaction conveniently, each element is represented by a separate symbol. Means अगर आपको chemical reaction लिखनी है तो for conveniently we need that element represented as separate symbol. So, the symbols of an element is the first letter or the first letter and another letter, okay, of the English name or Latin name of the element. For example, the symbol of hydrogen is H, first letter of the name, means hydrogen H, there is a first letter is H, so that's why symbol of hydrogen is H. So in case of the hydrogen and oxygen, the first letter of their English names are taken as their symbol. जैसे oxygen का O, carbon का C, okay, like that. The symbol of calcium is Ca, means first letter capital and second letter that is small. Okay, so calcium, first and second letter of name, that is a capital C and small a. Clear? In our study of chemistry, we use the English names of the elements, so we are not familiar with the Latin names of the elements. So most of the confusion therefore arises in the symbols derived from the Latin names of the elements. So following symbols carefully and try that to remember then correctly. They have been derived from the Latin names of the element. For example, this sodium. Okay, so sodium, English name of the element of that sodium. Okay, English name is what? Sodium. Symbol Na. So Latin name of the element is what? Natratium. So that's why their symbol Na. Clear? Now potassium, name of the element potassium. So symbol is K, okay, and Latin name of the element is Kalium. Clear this one? And that iron, English name of the element is iron, and symbol is Fe. So that Fe is come from the Latin name of the element, that ferrum. Okay, same like that mercury, English name of the element is mercury, and symbol Hg, and that Hg symbol come from the Latin name of the element, that hydrocarbon. Okay, and that lead. Okay, that English name is what? Lead. So that lead, that Pb symbol, Pb, that is coming from the Latin name, that plumbum. Okay, and that tin, English name of the element is tin, and that symbol is Sn. So that Sn symbol is come from the Latin name of the element, that sternum. Clear this one? And that copper, English name of the element is copper, and that Cu, that symbol is come from the Latin name, that is a cuprum. So these are the some symbols derived from the Latin name of the elements. Clear this one? These days the names and symbol of all newly discovered elements are approved by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, means IUPAC. Okay. Next one, atomic mass of an element. Actual masses of the atoms of the elements are very small. For example, that one atom of hydrogen has a mass of 1.673 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 24 gram. Okay, so this much means it is not convenient to use such small and complicated figures in our calculation. Therefore, it was necessary to define atomic masses in such a way that we get simple figures for them. So the number of times an atom of helium element is heavier than 1/12 of carbon atoms. Okay. In order to understand the present definition of atomic mass, we should first know the meaning of which carbon 12 atom is. So carbon 12 atom is that atom of carbon which has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. Means carbon वो atom है जिसमें 6 proton है and 6 neutron है in its nucleus. और वो किसके अंदर है? न्यूक्लियस के अंदर, सो दैट इट्स मास नंबर इज 12. तो इसलिए इसका मास नंबर क्या है, 12 होगा. ओके, कार्बन एटम हैज बीन असाइंड एन एटॉमिक मास ऑफ एग्जैक्टली 12 एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. One atomic mass unit is defined as exactly the 1/12th, okay, the mass of an atom of carbon 12. Clear this one? So the atomic masses of all other elements are determined by comparing the mass of their atom with the mass of a carbon 12 atom. Clear this one? The atomic mass of an element is the relative mass of its atom as compared with the mass of carbon 12 atom taken as 12 units. Now, how do atoms exist? The atoms of only a few elements called that noble gases such as helium, neon, argon and krypton etc. are chemically unreactive and exist in the free state, okay, as single atoms. Atoms of most of the elements are chemically very reactive and do not exist in the free state as single atom. Means मोस्टली जो एलिमेंट्स है वो कैसे है, केमिकली वेरी रिएक्टिव है. सो दैट्स वाई दे डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट इन द फ्री स्टेट. ओके, एटम्स यूजुअली एग्जिस्ट इन टू वे, ओके, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स एंड सेकेंड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ आयन. ओके, एटम एग्जिस्ट इन टू वेज, in the form of molecules and in the form of ions. So these are the example of in the form of ions. Clear this one? Now about the molecules. A molecule is an electrically neutral group of two atoms chemically bonded together. Clear? So the forces which hold the atoms together in a molecule are called the covalent bond. So thus a combination of atoms is called molecule. The combination of atoms is called the molecules. Clear this one? So we know that atoms of most of the elements are very reactive and cannot exist in free state. Okay, so this is not so with molecule. So molecule can exist in free state because they are very stable. So molecule free state में exist कर सकता है because they are very stable. So this gives us another definition of molecule like that a molecule is the smallest particle of a substance that is element or compound, okay, which has the properties of that substances. Clear this one? And can exist in free state. सो मॉलिक्यूल कैसा है, स्मॉलेस्ट पार्टिकल है. अब सब्सटेंस इलेमेंट भी हो सकता है और कंपाउंड भी हो सकता है. विच इज द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ दैट सब्सटेंस. अब इलेमेंट होगा तो जो इस इलेमेंट की प्रॉपर्टी होंगी वो सब्सटेंस शो करेगा, जो कंपाउंड की प्रॉपर्टी होंगी तो वो सब्सटेंस शो करेगा. ओके, कैन एग्जिस्ट इन free state. So molecules can be formed either by the combination of atom of the same element or a different element. Depending on this, there are two types of molecules. Molecules of the element, okay, and molecules of compound. Elements होगा मतलब कि इसमें same होते हैं और compound मतलब कि two different elements combine together and form the molecule. So first आप इसमें study करेंगे molecules of elements. Molecules of elements means that similar atom. Molecule of an element contain two or more similar atoms chemically combined together. Okay, for example, a molecule of hydrogen element contains two hydrogen atoms combined together and it is written as H2. Okay, so hydrogen gas consists of H2 molecules and not of single atoms H. तो इसमें आप जब भी आप हाइड्रोजन गैस लिखोगे, हाइड्रोजन मॉलिक्यूल, तो आपको हमेशा कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा, H2. ओके, क्लियर दिस वन. सो हाइड्रोजन मॉलिक्यूल्स इज ए डायटोमिक मॉलिक्यूल. अब इसमें कितने एटम्स है, अगर यहाँ पे ये एटम शो करता है, ओके, हाउ मेनी एटम्स आर देयर, 2. इट मीन्स दैट डायटोमिक, डाई मीन्स 2. ओके, diatomic molecules because it contains two atoms per molecule. Similarly, that oxygen gas, that O2, okay, O2 molecules, okay, and that nitrogen gas, N2 molecules, chlorine gas, Cl2 molecules, okay, and that iodine, I2 molecules, and that bromine element which is liquid consists of bromine molecules. And so the number of atoms present in one molecule of an element is called its atomicity. The number of atoms present in one molecule means एक molecules में कितने number of atom present है, so that is called the atomicity. Clear this one? So atomicity of some common elements. First, noble gases such as helium, neon, argon and krypton. So the atomicity of noble gases is 1. Okay, 1 means that monoatomic. Okay, noble gases are said to be monoatomic cause having one atom molecules. The atomicity of metal elements like sodium, magnesium, aluminium, copper, iron, etc. is also taken to be 1. Thus, metals are considered to be monoatomic. Now that hydrogen, H2, nitrogen, N2, oxygen, okay, O2, chlorine, Cl2, bromine, Br2, iodine, I2 all have 2 atoms each in their molecules. So the atomicity of hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, and iodine is 2 each. Okay, so in other words, the elements hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, in other words, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, okay, are diatomic. कैसे हैं? Diatomic, having 2 atoms. Now next, ozone. Ozone has 3 atoms in its molecules. Okay, look here, O3. Okay, ozone has 3 atoms in its molecules. So the atomicity of ozone is 3, means that triatomic ozone is said to be triatomic because having 3 atom molecule. Now phosphorus has 4 atoms, okay, in its molecule. So the atomicity of phosphorus is 4, means that having 4 atom means tetraatomic. Okay, phosphorus is said to be tetraatomic. Clear? Now solid sulfur acid. Okay, so solid sulfur has 8 atoms in its molecules. So the atomicity of sulfur is 8. Okay, so that sulfur is said to be octaatomic. Octa means 8. Okay, having the 8 molecules. So means जितने एटम्स शो करेंगे एक मॉलिक्यूल्स में, सो उसे आप मोनोएटोमिक, डायएटोमिक, सो ये एटोमोसिटी है. सो उनकी डिफरेंट एटोमिसिटी होती है, मोनोएटोमिक, डायएटोमिक, ट्राइएटोमिक, टेट्राएटोमिक. ओके, लाइक दैट. क्लियर दिस वन? मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ कंपाउंड. The molecules of compound contains 2 or more different types of atom. अब इसमें different, आपने यहाँ पे देखा था same atom रहते, okay, but यहाँ पे different types of atoms chemically combined together. Okay, they are chemically combined. For example, hydrogen chloride is compound. ये एक compound हो गया. Okay, the molecule of hydrogen chloride contains 2 different types of atom. अब इसमें 2 different atom. Okay, hydrogen and chlorine. Clear this one? So water is a also compound. Okay, so a molecule of water, अभी एक molecule of water means यहाँ पे nothing is there, means that 1. So one molecule of, इसको आप कैसे read करोगे? This is what? One molecule of water. So a molecule of water is made up of 2 different types of atom, hydrogen and oxygen atom. Hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. Okay, so carbon dioxide is also a compound whose that molecules consist of 2 different atoms, that carbon atoms and oxygen atoms. Clear this one? So आपको यहाँ पे फिगर में यहाँ पे शो कर रहे, जैसे ये क्या हो गया, हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड. ये हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड है. अब इसमें हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड मॉलिक्यूल से कैसा है, HNCl, मीन्स ये दोनों 2 different atoms combined together and form the one molecules. Okay, same like here, 2 different atoms combined together and form the one molecule, that is a water molecule, means H2O, means इसमें hydrogen 2 है and oxygen 1 है. 2 different atom, carbon and oxygen, combined together and form the carbon dioxide molecules. Clear this one? A compound which consists of molecules is called a molecular compound. So hydrogen chloride, water, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, methane and ammonia are all molecular compounds which consist of molecules and not ions. तो इसमें क्या रहते हैं, सब molecules रहते हैं, इसमें ions नहीं होते, इसलिए इनको आप क्या कहते हैं, molecular compound. Clear this one? Thank you.